We don't hear Mr. Parminder.
We can't hear, right? Okay, one
Yes.
second. Parminder sir, we can't hear you. It's done. Yeah, we can start, Parminder sir. Thank you so much. We have all the participants ready and you can see the names of them. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. I hope you are able to also see my screen. Can you quickly confirm if you can see a mind map quickly? Okay. Vaibhav has confirmed. Thank you, Vaibhav. So let's quickly start. So basically, we have joined today so that I can give you a quick overview that what kind of trainings we are going to provide in the sourcing and procurement mastery SAP S4 HANA training. We are starting a new batch and we do multiple batches around the year, and we are starting a new batch on Sunday. So this would be a quick demo session before we start the new batch. Okay. So there would be a lot of people who would be already knowing me, and there can be some people who does not know me. So let me provide you a quick brief background about myself. So guys, I am Parminder. I have 18 plus years of SAP experience. Okay, I started my SAP career journey before SAP. I also have a domain experience. I was working into a manufacturing industry, into a different roles, supply chain roles, planning roles, manufacturing roles, for almost 4 years. And then I switched to SAP consulting, and my first company was Accenture. I started my journey as a SAP PP consultant. So from there I have taken the different positions. My curiosity brought me to learn different modules, so I'm strong into the logistics side. SD, MM, PP, those are my strong area, including the advanced planning part of it. Okay, I'm giving so that is I have done more than 7 implementation, and right now I'm a freelancer. From last 4 years I'm focusing on the trainings and freelancing projects. So I give 50 to 60% of my part to the projects. In most of the projects which I handle is I go there as a solution architect from the logistics side, and rest 40% I am focusing on training, because training is my passion. So I'm training people from last 7 years. Officially, I'm training, conducting the corporate trainings, conducting the my personal batches, batches for the different institutes. I'm doing it, and I have upskilled more than 2,000 people on SAP S4 HANA. Okay, around the globe. I have also involved into few companies corporate trainings where I have done with them for 2 years, developing capabilities on SAP S4 HANA. So that is a brief background about myself. So we'll be jumping into SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement mastery training. You might got already the curriculum, that what curriculum we are going to cover in this training. If you have not got the training coordinators, Sana and other people would be sending it to you. In today's session, I would be focusing quickly so that you get familiarized that how the training is going to happen, and what is the way we are going to conduct this training, so that you get a little bit familiarity of it. Okay, so that's what we will be trying. So before I jump ahead, now what I do, I use multiple tools. I will be using active pens to draw something so that we keep on interacting. The camera is not supporting well, in otherwise in the training my camera would also be on, so that my face, my hands can also speak. And I would also be asking a lot of questions to you, okay, which not necessary that you unmute and answer it, but you can answer it through the chat. There's a chat box there you can go and answer the question, so that we are interacting each other. Although this is not training which we are doing into the classroom training, but we try that we give you the experience which is better than the classroom trainings. The 2 hours which you sit with us, you would be 100% engaged. Okay, that's what we try. It should not be a training where you are sleeping. Okay, if you are sleeping, then it means that my job is not well done. Let me try to switch on my camera again. Last time when I switched on my camera, my voice gone off. Let me try one more time. Okay, it's switched on, and I think my voice is still there. That's good. So let's start. So I have given a brief introduction about myself. I want you people to quickly mention on the chat that how many of you belongs from sourcing and procurement or buying departments or in the operation. So somewhere you linked with MM or sourcing and procurement, not necessarily SAP. Maybe you are linked with some another way you have been linked. You're working as a buyer. You have a operations experience of buying or a materials management operations experience you have. If you have, I want you to put it on the chat. OP operations experience hyphen the number of years quickly. Let me see how many people are here who is having an operational experience, who has worked into the business. Okay, and the people who does not have any operation experience, I want them to put on the chat window FR, fresher, complete fresher. There would be some people who would be complete fresher, FR. The people who are already working as a SAP consultant, okay, who are already working as a SAP consultant, maybe MM or maybe in another modules. There are people who come to us for the cross training. You can mention consultant, consultant hyphen number of years quickly. Quickly, everyone on the chat. I would be asking a lot of questions to you, and this question has a strategy. Strategy is that you answer these questions. You will be using your fingers, typing something. As soon as you type something on your keyboard, your focus will come back to this training. Otherwise, these online trainings, it's difficult for me to keep you focused. Not for me, it's your mind is like that. Your mind cannot focus on any training program more than 20 minutes. Okay, so I would be using this strategical question every 15-20 minutes to bring your mind back into this training so that you can focus here. So everyone, okay. Uh, Um, okay, Sana, I'm not able to see the chat responses. Okay,
There will be a
okay, now
chat
now I
window.
can see.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
Now I can see. Yeah, so Sandeep has a 5 years experience. We have some people 7 years in the consulting, 1 years in the operations, 8 months, 7 years consulting, operation 6 month, operation 3 years. There are some people who are from the sales background. Okay, uh, okay. Anyone who has not responded, please respond quickly over the chat. 10 years experience in operation. The good thing is that there is no fresher. Okay, there is no something somebody college pass out who is available here, because if it is available, I need to mold my session to explain more basics so that they can understand. But we have a people who are consultants, and we also have a people here who have operations experience. We have a people who have a end user experience. We have a people who has a operations experience, but they don't have a SAP experience. They have not used ERP. So you need to understand, and in these trainings also we'll be having a mixed participants, right? So when I would be starting my training on coming Sunday, I start my training from very scratch, starting thinking that the audience I am having, they don't know about anything about SAP. So I would be explaining first what is SAP, what are the different modules, how these modules integrate with each other, what is the business processes overall, and what is sourcing and procurement business process. So we would be building initial 2 session. I would be building a platform where everybody comes onto the same platform, everybody understand what is SAP, what are the business processes, what are the different modules, how does it integrates with each other, so that we would be able to start learning together from there. Okay, that's what we will be doing it. Okay, we have few couple of freshers also. Okay, good to know that, not a problem. Even though you are fresher, you would be able to learn it, but you need to give more, you need to give more efforts to learn it. So I would be using in this training, I would be using these kind of mind maps. This is a very big mind map. If I will explode, it will go to at least 200 levels. So these kind of mind maps, I would be using it to conduct the training. And through our LMS, you will also get access to these mind maps. Not downloadable, but a view access through our LMS systems. So today I would be starting with the very basics. Ki bhaiya, before we go ahead, at least first you understand we are going to learn SAP as for HANA sourcing and procurement. Now there would be few people who even does not know SAP. Yeah, first tell me what is SAP. So just in a line, I will explain. SAP is the most used and most famous ERP system, most complicated, but very much integrated. Its integration, its power. Okay, it is integrated your manufacturing, procurements, sourcing, finance, controlling, plant maintenance, quality. All the functionalities are there in it. It's a complete ERP system, and all these business functions get connected with each other very tightly. Okay, that is the strongest part of SAP. That's make it most usable. That's why the Fortune 500 companies, 70% is using SAP products. Okay, and that also makes a lot of demand for the consultant, because when it's a big software, it is integrated software, its implementations and configurations are also complex. That's why so many consultants are required. That's why you are here to get it trained. Okay, just give me a minute. Sorry, the little one. Okay, so that is basically SAP, and within SAP, we are learning a module which is called sourcing and procurement. Some people also get confused कि भैया sometime you call MM, sometime you call sourcing and procurement. है क्या ये? What is this? Right? So it's both are the same things. The in ECC now we are into the latest version of SAP S4 HANA. The latest version is 2022. Yesterday only we got our labs on 2022 system. So the batch we are trying, that the batch which we are conducting from the Sunday, we'll be doing it on 2022 system. Okay, yesterday only our batch, our lab preparation got started. So we'll be moving from 2021 to 2022 system. So S4 HANA is the latest one, and before S4 HANA it was ECC. Okay, and from ECC SAP has moved to S4 HANA. In ECC the module name was materials management, which was completely wrong name. Okay, materials management can be anything. In manufacturing also you manage the materials, in sales also actually you manage the material. So that was a wrong translation coming from the German language, and it got adopted. In S4 HANA, when SAP came to S4 HANA, they tried to get this corrected. कि भैया, in this module, what we do? We do the buying operation, we do the sourcing, and we do the procurement. So they corrected the name. Now the right name of the module is sourcing and procurement. But when you'll be preparing your CV, my dear friend, use both terminology. Use SAP MM also and SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement. Okay, why use both terminology? Because in your job description, sometimes, not sometimes, many times, still people are mentioning, HR are mentioning SAP MM. So if you don't mention SAP MM in your CVs, then your CVs will not get that number of interview calls. So make sure that using correct terminologies are important. We have everything here. Don't worry. I have a particular section which I will be giving it to you. I have a videos prepared to help you to prepare your CVs also. Okay. Okay. So you understand now what is MM. Okay. Now I would be jumping into you don't get confused now ki bhaiya, what is MM, what is SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement. Okay, the both are the different names. The new module name in S/4HANA is sourcing and procurement. Now let's try to think about ki what is sourcing and what is procurement. Okay, what is sourcing and what is procurement, and what is the difference between these two? What is sourcing and what is procurement? Anyone over the chat window, can you let me know what is sourcing quickly? What is sourcing quickly over the chat? Uh, Mela said that it's purchasing. Purchasing is sourcing. Okay, that's a good attempt. Very good attempt. Finding best supplier. Okay, finding best supplier is another answer which I got it. Okay, Let's try to understand from here. What we are saying, boss, we are talking about sourcing and procurement. One people said that finding a right buyer is a sourcing, and some people said that purchasing is sourcing. So if I will ask you, okay, if I will ask you that a procurement cycle, you will be hearing this terminology again and again. P2P, procure to pay. That P2P cycle, it starts from where? Quickly over the chat window. The P2P cycle starts from where? From requirement. Very good, Vaibhav. Vaibhav said that boss requirement se start hota hai. It start from requirement. That's very correct. So it start from the requirement. Now this requirement can come from the multiple places. This requirement can come from the individual. Individual can raise the requirement, or it can also come from the planning also, the requirement can come. Your material requirement planning engines can tell that what we need. What is the requirement? Requirement is that was what we need to buy, how much we need to buy, when we need to buy, which material we want to buy, what quantity we want to buy, at what date we need to get it. Now, this can be a manual requirement punch into the system, which is also known as purchase requisition, right? Which is also known as purchase requisition. Or this can be also come from planning, where we have a MRP, material requirement planning. Engines can be there which can run it, and from the MRP engines also the requirements can be generated. So, do we have a vendor here in the requirement? Or do we have a price information in the requirement? Shall we have a vendor in the requirement and the price information? Answers over the chat window. Quickly, answers over the chat window. Shall we have a price, at what price we'll be buying and from whom we'll be buying? Vendor or supplier, and the price should be there. Answer in the yes or no on the chat, and everyone. Okay, everyone need to. When I say yes or no, either you need to type yes or you need to type no. There is no another option you have. Okay, either type yes or type no. Yes, no, no, yes. Might be yes or it depends. Okay. So both kind of answers I got it. It can be yes, it can be no, right? In general, who is this person? Who is this fellow who is raising this requirement? Can you tell me who is this fellow who is raising this requirement? Who would be this fellow who is raising the requirement? Quickly over the chat. Individual department. So you think about, you're working into the in a HR department, and you want to buy a A4 paper, or you want to buy a printer cartridge, right? Your need is you want to buy a printer cartridge. Now, who would be supplying it? At what price it would be supplying? It's not your job. It's the procurement, your supply chain department, sourcing and procurement department. It's their job to identify from where we can buy it and what would be the price for it. Okay, I need to buy 100 things as a HR. I need to buy a printer, I need to buy a laptop, I need to buy a TV, I need to buy a table, chair, so many things I need to buy. If I am the one who would be searching who would be supplying it, what price it would be supplying, then I would not be able to do my normal work, right? So the individual departments, the requirement can come from production, manufacturing, quality, R&D, HR. Multiple departments would be giving the requirement. Okay. Even the planning team, from the planning also the requirement can come. So it's not mandatory, or generally when it comes from the individual, the source, that who from where we would be buying it and what would be the price, is not a responsibility of individual who is raising the requirement. Okay, then what would be the next step from the requirement? What would be the next step from the requirement? quickly over the chat. PO, approvals, purchase order. Approvals. Weber says approvals. Two other people said purchase order. Rest people, if you don't know the answer, I want you to type NI over the chat. Type something so that you are engaged here. Otherwise, your mind will quickly go away. Okay. So type it here. I want everybody there. The 24 participants are there. I need answer from everyone. Either if you don't know anything, put NI. I will be back in a minute. Approvals, 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 approvals. Okay. Prepare purchase order or the approvals, most of the people say. Now, let's say, okay, approvals make sense. Approvals make sense. So, approval has been done. It has been approved also. Now, after the approval, people said that, okay, the purchase order need to be created. To create a purchase order, what do we need? What is the most important thing you needed to create a purchase order? Quickly, over the chat. What is the most important thing you needed? Price, exact. So quantity you got it from the requirement. What, how much, and when. These three things you got from the requirement. So quantity you have it. Price you needed. Supplier and payment terms. Who said? Weber said. Very good answer, Weber. Sudhak also said the same thing, supplier and the prices. So we need boss purchase order create kar rahe hain. We are creating a purchase order. To whom you are creating a purchase order? Supplier, right? So you need to identify a supplier. Okay. So in this process, you tell me that first what will come? First purchase order will come or first process will come that we need to identify a supplier. Which process will come first? Okay, first I would be creating a purchase order or I would be first identifying a supplier. What will come first? Supplier identification will come. Supplier identification. Identifying the supplier. Okay. Now you need to understand that there are the two important things into the buying, into the sourcing and procurement. And I want every one of you also take notes. Okay, when I am training, also take notes because notes are very good point to get yourself engaged. Notes bhi ban jate hain and you are also focused. Okay. So there's a two key things we do into the procurement. One is the direct buying and second is the indirect buying. Now the direct buying is like we have a car. We are manufacturing a car. Now for that car, we would be requiring a wheels. Okay, we will be requiring a doors. That are the direct material that directly goes into my final product. It's a part of my final product. So if I need to buy wheels, if I need to buy doors, that are my direct materials. Okay, and there can be some indirect material also I might require. What are the indirect material which is not directly part of my, so I'm producing car, it does not mean that I only require the raw materials which goes inside the car. I can require so many n number of other things. I might require safety helmets, I might require safety shoes, safety jackets, some jigs, some fixtures, tools, machine spare parts, some filters, some oil filters. Okay. So these components will not go inside your car. But to make sure you deliver the car, you produce the car, you require these material. In office, you require printer, printer cartridge, A4 paper, pen, different color pens, board markers, board, computers, table chairs, AC, so many things you require, right? But that does not go inside your car. So these buyings, which is not directly part of your final component or final product which you are selling it, that are called the indirect buying. Okay, that are called the indirect buying. So mostly now, I take the example of the car. When you'll be buying the wheels, right? Wheels you need to buy every month or every week. You will be buying wheels because you are producing so many cars. So every time when the requirement comes, you will not go and try to identify a vendor or supplier. Vendor and supplier would already be there, contract would already be there, and you will be just creating a purchase order. Requirement came maybe from the planning for the direct material, you convert it into the approval came, you convert it into the purchase order. Okay. So direct buying, you would be finding your supplier one time, and then the process will continue. Now that process, which will continuously, you will be buying purchase order and the further process, approval, purchase order, good receipt, invoicing, that process is called the procurement. That process is called the purchasing. Okay. But for the indirect buying, you would be having so many materials which you will be buying first time. Okay. Now you need to buy a new kind of a cable. You need to buy a new kind of connector. You need to buy a new kind of laptop. You need to buy a new kind of spare parts, right? A lot of materials which will be coming, which you need to buy for the first time. Okay. And you have so many sources available. So in that case, you need to identify a source. Or another case, you are producing a new variant of a car. Now this new variant of a car require a different kind of doors, which you need to ask to your vendor. You need to develop your vendor, finalize your vendor, and do all the pricing and all the things you need to get it finalized with him. So that's a new direct product. So if it is a new direct product, it will always go for sourcing. So from here, you would be having your another cycle starting, and the cycle which starts from here is the sourcing. The downwards would be the sourcing and upwards would be the procurement. So make a note that for each and every procure to pay cycle, sourcing will not come into the picture. Sourcing will come into the picture if it is a new material, okay, and it will come a lot in the picture for indirect buying. For direct buying, if it is a new part, new component has been introduced, or you feel that this vendor is not giving me right quality, I need to change my vendor, or you feel that ki, bhaiya, he is charging me a lot, I can buy it on a lesser price, then you will go for sourcing. Okay. So once the requirement get approved, and that one, here you will be starting your sourcing process. Now this process which I would be mentioning is actually the sourcing part, and the right hand part would be the procurement. Now into the sourcing, what would be the first thing? Once you have approved requirement, what is the first documents comes into the picture in case of sourcing? PR? No, PR is a requirement. Purchase requisition, Kamlesh, is a requirement. Kamlesh is asking what is difference between co-product and byproduct. Co-products, byproducts is totally a different thing. What I have explained you, direct and indirect, is a completely different thing. Co-product or byproducts are the products that say when you produce sugar when you produce sugar from the sugar cane, there are a lot of byproducts which come up, which is used to make alcohol, right? So alcohol is a byproduct of sugar when you prepare from sugar to sugarcane. That is the co-products and byproducts. That functionality we generally use in PP module, production planning. But it's not, don't compare with direct and indirect. Performa invoice from direct different suppliers. No, invoice comes later. Uh, Material or services list, RFI, RFP, auction. Yeah, that's good, Sudhakar. You need to look for supplier. What are the suppliers look available in the market? So generally, what we do for starting the sourcing, we create a document which is called RFQ, request for quotation. In RFQ document, we are requesting the suppliers कि भैया you submit your quotation. We create a RFQ document, that request for quotation, that mention our requirement. What do we require? We can also mention what is our expected price, on what dates we required, what kind of quantities we required. That is a request for quotation we created. From request from quotation, goes to your, this goes to your supplier. Supplier comes back and he submit his quotation. Okay, and it will not be going to one supplier, it can go to the multiple different suppliers, it can go. And he would be submitting his quotation. Ki boss, this is your requirement. Yes, I can provide this. These are my payment terms. This is how much I would charge for it. And this is what by when I can make the delivery. So you would be having multiple quotations you would be receiving, and then you would be doing a comparison, quotation comparison. Based on the quotation comparison, when you have done, you will find who is a good vendor, who can provide a good quality, who can provide a decent prices to you. You would be going ahead with the reward. With reward, you can create two things. You can create a contract with the vendor that we will be buying this from you for next 1 year, and this is the price which you will be offered on this. And or you can directly create a purchase order, or purchase order can be created from contract. Okay, so this part is the sourcing part, where we identify the vendor, we finalize the price with the vendor, and we fix the price. Okay, there is another term which I will explain you later, which is also called purchase info record. Can also be created that this vendor would be providing this material at this price. That is a in simple purchase info record. Okay, and then you would be creating your purchase order, then purchase order will come into the picture. So all of this part is your sourcing. This is called sourcing. Got it? I will be quickly coming into the question and answers also, but let me ask, what would be the, now from there the PO is created, what would be the next step? What would be the next which will be coming after the PO? After the PO, what would be the next thing? Invoice, receipt, follow-up of material. Follow-ups definitely comes up. That's true. So after PO again, there would be one thing which would be coming, which you have missed, is again approval will come. Now this approval might be there, might not be there, and it is not that important, but this approval is important. Purchase order approval is very important, because purchase requirement approval, the money does not go out from your pocket. But when the PO is created, at that time you are finalizing, that is actually kind of a legal document which goes to that I would be buying from a particular supplier at this particular price. Before that POs goes to the vendor, it will require approval. So here the approval is very critical and crucial step which need to happen. So once the PO has been approved, then you would be sending it to vendor, and then all of your follow-up work can happen here, and it can be done in SAP in terms it is known as a confirmations. Vendor would be giving you a confirmation and acknowledgements. Can be done within the system or can be done physically outside the system. So after the approval, your confirmations will be coming, and then vendor will say ki bhaiya, this is the what I am delivering a goods to you. The truck, he will send it to you, and then you will be doing a GR, goods receipt. Okay. With the truck, he can also send a invoice document, or he can send the invoice separately. Then after the GR, you would be creating an invoice in the system. And against this invoice, you would be generating your payment. Now the right hand side part, from the requirement approval, purchase order approval, follow up, vendor confirmation, GR, invoice, payment. This part is called purchasing or procurement. So there would also be in your departments, you will see there can be two teams. Sourcing is done by a different team, and normal procurement is done by a different team. There can be two different teams. One is responsible. Sometimes it's also this team, the sourcing team is also called the vendor development team, okay, or vendor relationship management team, okay, that are also called as a sourcing team. And there would be a buyers whose responsibility is to quickly take the requirements, identify from the available suppliers and start the buying process, create a purchase orders, get the approvals done, make sure the deliveries has been made, make sure invoice has been punched and the payment goes to the vendor. They would be monitoring that part. That's the procurement part. And the another team, if they don't find any particular source for it, then the procurement team would be telling to the buying team, boss, get the source. Okay, we don't have a source available, please get the source available. So this is the difference between sourcing. The below part, which is a little bit bluish or blackish color mentioned, is the sourcing, and the above and the right hand side, this L section, is your procurement. Now before I proceed ahead, any questions here? I have a few questions, I would be answering it. Keep mentioning on the chat window. Um, okay. What is, I have a question from Arunaj. What is managing the contract? Managing the contract is also part of the sourcing. Generally, it's part of the sourcing. So what happened that in some companies, there would be rules and regulations would be there that for everything, every buying you need to do, first a contract need to be created. In the contract, you would be mentioning it that I am going to buy this material long term. Generally, contracts would be there for the direct buying. Okay, for the direct materials procurement, the contracts would be there. What is the difference between purchasing and procurement? So right hand side part which I have mentioned, it's called procurement, or it's also called purchasing. When we say the purchasing is the purchasing process which does not generally include the sourcing. So you can use this terminology for each other, purchasing or procurement. You can use them as a synonyms. Okay, very good question from Vaibhav. Sometime here you are saying supplier, sometime you are saying vendor. What is the difference? And when we'll go ahead into the training, I will start calling them as a business partner. I will confuse you more. Okay, that's what SAP does. It confuses people. That's why that gives the bread and butter to the to the consultants to explain those things. So when I say supplier, when I say vendor, okay, when I say supplier, when I say vendor, or in future we'll be using technical term which we'll be using is business partner. They all are same. They are providing a material to us. Not only the material, they can provide material or any kind of service they can sell to us. That's a supplier or vendor or business partner. Then I also use a terminology buyer. Buyer in my company, there is a person in my supply chain department who is responsible to raise a purchase order to the supplier to buy the stuff. These employees, my employees who is doing the buying activities, are buyers. The people who are supplying this material to us, they are the suppliers or vendors. Kemis is asking difference between contract, purchase order, and scheduling agreement. Now, from contract and scheduling agreement also, we create a PO, and the receiving happens from the PO. Contract, we use it generally if it is a direct material and it's a long time agreement. Okay, it's a long time agreement between you and a party, then we'll be creating a contract. Contract can be of the two types of contract. It can be the quantity contract. I'm saying that I would be buying this 5,000 quantities of tires in next 1 year at that price. So that is a contract which can be created in SAP as a contract document. Or I can say that I would be buying in next 1 year 50,000 worth of tires, 50,000 US dollar worth of tires on a particular price. That is my value contract. Okay. So whenever we are buying something again and again and we have a long term price agreement, that is created in the system as a contract. If I go with the principle of thumb rules or the classic principles of buying, all of my materials, which is a continuous buying materials or repeatedly buying material, should have a contract in the system. And I have seen some businesses, they actually monitor, they are the KPIs available, that how much buying they have done with contracts, where the contracts was there, and how much buying we do without contracts. So contracts give you the additional approval process and additional control and monitor process. Okay, that's the benefit of contract. You can identify that which contracts are getting expires in next 1 month, and then you can work on to again buying department getting triggered, renew the contract, or identifying the new buyers. So it gives you more control, more monitoring over the process. Scheduling agreement also will be talking about. Scheduling agreement, we call it as an outline agreement. Also, we call it that's another terminology. I'm confusing you more. Don't get confused. When we go in detail, you will get all of the things answered. So scheduling agreement would be the contract tell me that in a year I would be buying it. Scheduling agreement, you can also mention that in a year I would be buying 50,000. Then you can mention your schedule lines that in this particular week I will buy 50, next week I will buy 100, then I buy 120, then I buy 200. I can also mention my schedule. So scheduling agreement in a simple words is a contract with the schedule. That is to answer you, Camis. Shubha asked that what are the approved vendors? Approved vendors are the vendors which sourcing team has said that okay, this vendor is approved and we would be able to go ahead and buying for it. Sometimes a vendor would be created in the system, but they would not be marked as a open. Okay, they would not be marked as a open. They would be still the restricted, because still audits are going. We need to audit those vendors whether he would be able to deliver the right quality, whether he is a financial stable. It should not happen. You start buying from his, he goes bankrupt, and then your supply chain got stopped. So there can be the process where basically the vendors would be approved, then only you would be able to go ahead with the buying thing, buying from the vendor. Ampab has a question. We have a SAP S4 HANA, SAP Ariba. Are they not doing the same thing? Very good question. Now, if you ask, boss, in sourcing and procurement vertical, what is the solution from SAP? The solution from SAP is Ariba plus SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement. There are the two products are there, Ariba and SAP S4 HANA. If you say that SAP say that the end-to-end digitalization, okay, uh, listen carefully what I'm saying. End-to-end digital, end-to-end digitalization in the vertical of sourcing and procurement is provided by SAP with combination of Ariba and SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement. Now, in one line, if I will tell you the difference, this part, the left hand side part and the right hand side part, they both are available in S4 HANA. They was available in ECC also. But this left hand side part is not that strong in S4 HANA. This left hand side part would be very strong in Ariba. Okay, that is specifically is used for the indirect buying. Okay, so here you would be having a multiple suppliers, right? So before suppliers, you need to create the suppliers in the system, and let's say if you want a bidding process, here you need to create RFQ documents, and these RFQ document you need to send them through the email, and then everybody would be responding to you through the email, and those things you would be punching into your system in quotation. So that is the manual process in S4 HANA. But if you want to automated process, you say that I have a kind of a Amazon where all of my suppliers are available there. Okay, that is called Ariba network, where all the suppliers are there. I just put my requirement and start the bidding process. So automatically, electronically, the requirement goes to all the suppliers. Electronically, they submit their responses, and then I do the comparison, and then I do the reward from the bidding process. So these kind of bidding process, and there are so many additional functionalities where paperworks are not there, and the automations can happen, and the information can be passed between vendor and you digitally. Even they can submit their invoice digitally, right? Those functions are more stronger available in Ariba. So those part Ariba is used, and this part now the requirement need to link with planning need to link with MRP is linking with PP, GR need to be linked, deliveries can be there, EWM can link here, transport management can link here, your FICO would be linking, inventory management would be linking. So this procurement part is more stronger in S4 HANA. It's linked with so many another modules. Sourcing is more stronger in Ariba. So if you want a very strong end-to-end solution, it would be Ariba plus S4HANA. That is to answer one of the question which has been asked. Do you have to carry out supplier evaluation in the sourcing? Yes, that's a question from Arunach. Yes, we need to carry out the supplier evaluation, and when we'll be jumping into the excellence training. So we have two kind of trainings. We have a mastery training and we have an excellence training. In excellence, we cover excellence is only for the people who has more than 3 years of SAP consultant experience. Okay, those people can directly go to excellence, or once you will be completing mastery, I would be going asking you to do the excellence. So in excellence, we cover the evaluation, the new evaluation process which has been given by SAP. Okay, through Fiori, that will be covered in the excellence. So evaluation would be there. CapEx PO. What is CapEx PO? Kamlesh is asking. CapEx PO comes when you buy the assets. Okay, then the CapEx PO comes into the picture. Sudhakar is asking, what is purchase info record that you used 10 minutes back? Sudhakar, in easy terminology, it mentioned a document of master data in the system, which mention from which vendor, which material at what price. So it's a combination of vendor, material, and price. In simple word, it has a lot. When we'll jump into the purchase info record, you will get more clarity. But in simple words, a combination of material, vendor, and price. You can understand. As of now, you can understand that. Kamlesh is asking, can we use Ariba for direct buying? Do we have limited to Ariba network supplier only? So when you are buying, when you are going with the Ariba and you have a Ariba network, so for Ariba also we have a separate training. There is a 40 hours of training right now. It is going on. Ariba also is a separate training. A separate consultant would be there. Okay, so direct buying is also possible with Ariba. It's not like that it's impossible. Direct buying is also possible. Let's say you have a direct material. For that, you need to find a source or a supplier. You can always, your purchase requisition can go to Ariba, and from there you can try to identify, do the bidding, and try to identify your suppliers. When we use Ariba, and if you have another vendor which you need to use, which is not in Ariba, generally we ask them those vendor go to Ariba and register themselves in the Ariba network, so that for us the process is streamlined. Okay, that is from Kamlesh. Okay, I hope I have answered all of the questions which has been asked so far. Okay, now I would be quickly jumping with the idea is that you get used to, or you get find that how this training is going to happen. Okay, so we have a long content which will be covered in this training. What I'm going to quickly tell you that if you want to become a SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement consultant, what are the 10 keys to success? How you can become a successful SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement? Now I can give you 100%, 200% guarantee. All the people who are sitting here, make a note. If you are right now not a consultant, if you want to become a consultant, okay, if you follow what I would be giving it to you, I don't have any single student who has followed. It's not only the enrolling into the training. Enrolling into the training, you will not get the job. You need to put effort. If you put effort, if you complete all the assignments, if you complete all the things which I will give it to you, if you complete that, there's nothing can stop you to get a job as a SAP MM or sourcing and procurement consultant. So when we'll be giving it to you, we'll be giving a bundle to you. It's not a single course, it's a combination of 4 and 5 courses you will get it. Okay. And I will guide you how you need to complete it step by step. And all of the people who have completed it, I don't have a single people who said that "Ki yaar, even though I'm 50 plus years of age, I did not get the interview calls, I did not get a job. If somebody is there who even cannot speak English, that's a different case. Okay, that even he comes to me, I say that ki bhaiya nahi karo tum aisa bhi. But if you will follow this, there is nothing which can stop you. I guarantee that. Uh, Somebody is asking me, will you kindly share the notes at the end of this session? So these, what are the things I'm showing it to you? This is the mind maps. Once you enroll for the training, you will get this mind maps through the our LMS system. Okay. Otherwise, when I started it, I asked every one of you, boss, keep taking notes, take your own notes. Your notes is the best thing which can help you out, not the other people notes. Other people notes just to would be carrying the memory. I always ask my students to prepare your own notes. And in this training, I would be asking you to prepare a lot of documents, a lot of notes, be proactive over the LinkedIn because that would be helping you to get the jobs. So the first mantra of the success was never quit. Never ever quit. The only people who become unsuccessful कि भैया training start कर दिया, then they started with the high energy and then they lose the energy and then they stop getting training and then they leave the things in between. If you are the one who would be leaving the things in between, it's very difficult to become a successful. But if you are the one who would be sustained, say I would be keep on doing, I would be keep on doing, you will get the success. How you will be never quitting it? Be high in energy. Keep yourself motivated. Okay, keep yourself motivated. How you will be keeping yourself motivated? I have done so many experiments in the training programs in last 7 years. The way I conducted the training 7 years ago, the way I am conducting now is completely different. It's complete. I have improved so many things and I understand what you require. Okay, I if as soon as you will be enrolling it, there would be people who have already enrolled it. As soon as you will be enrolling it, all the video content you will get it. More than 200 hours of content you will get it. Everything is with you. Okay, but the thing is that only the video content does not help you because that does not give you discipline. You know that most of the people who go with the Udemy training, 90% they are not able to complete or 90% they are not able to succeed it. There are the two major reasons for that. First reason, it's video based, it's always with you, and then you don't have a discipline. You do one video, two video, then it's just staying there. Second thing, it's a lifetime access. Anything which is giving to you as a lifetime will never complete. All things should have deadlines. Nothing get completed without deadlines. So what we did earlier in between, I started only the self-paced training. Then I monitored my analysis and find that people are not even able to complete the trainings because they need some motivation. So this live session is basically the basic idea to do the live session is to keep yourself motivated, to keep you motivated, to bring you on the high energy. Learning does not happen on the low energy. You need to be on the high energy for the learning. And these live sessions would be giving you energy and will not be sticking to only few live sessions. I am giving you access to live sessions for a year, which means when you do this mastery training, if I do a next batch, you can join that. If I do a next to next batch, you can join that. Within 1 year, whatever the live sessions you want to join to make yourself onto high in the energy, you would be able to join. Apart from the weekly 2 session of sourcing and procurement, I am giving you an additional third session. That is a Monday morning session. I will talk about that. Make sure you have a good hold on the business processes. You know why I started with today? explaining you कि भैया what is sourcing and what is procurement. Because when I take interview, believe me, more than 50% of the people are not able to explain me what is the difference between sourcing, what is the difference between procurement. They are so poor into the business processes. Material MM01, purchase order ME51, purchase requisition ME51N, purchase order ME21N, configuration SPRO go there. Those things are very easy things. You just do the Google, you will get it. You just do the Google, you will get it. The things you will not be able to get it is the business processes. So I always tell students to have a very good hold on the business processes. If you know the business processes, you will be able to do the better consulting. Okay, you would be able to do the better consulting. People tell you that okay, if you do the Google and try to find it out, sorry, and try to find it out that how to create a new material type, you will find hundred of the blogs. You will find hundred of the blogs which will tell you how to create a material type. You try to do the Google why to create a material type. Why I need to create a material type? What is the business process would be there for which I need to create a new material type? Hardly five blogs you will find. That also not detailed explanation. So whatever the training you do, first you understand the business process. All of our training, first I would be explaining you the business process. So if you are a fresher, if you are from the sales background, first I will make you understand कि भैया this is the business process. Once you understand the business process, the second thing you need to understand how it happens in SAP. Third thing you need to understand which master data it required to do in SAP. Fourth and the last thing you need to understand is the SPRO configuration. And people do other way कि अगर मुझे consultant बनना है, I need to know SPRO. SPRO means consultant. I don't know why this misconception is there. SPRO is last. Configuration is last. Business processes are first. Okay. So have a good hold on the business processes and I would be helping you for that. Make sure your concepts are very clear. Even people are very confused कि GR क्या है, GI क्या है, when the GR need to happen, when the GI need to happen. Make sure your concepts are crystal clear. If your concepts are clear from there, with the help of Google or with the help of in your project with your seniors and from other people, you will be able to learn ahead. But if the basic concepts are not clear, basic processes are not clear, you will always get struggle in the interviews, and even if you get the job, there also you will get struggle. System hands-on is very important. System hands-on is very important. Make sure I will be giving you assignments, the system would be given to you. Make sure you run the things into the system. People do a mistake, they come sit into the session, they go out, the next session they come and they sit, they don't revise the videos, they don't try to do the things on the system, then the confidence will not build in the interviews. And when finally you will be working in a project, you will be having only confidence once you have done all the things into the system. System hands-on is very important. Make sure do each and everything in the system. I will make you run from the scratch, from the company code, plant, material, business partner, everything you need to create your own in the system and run end-to-end scenarios multiple times. Okay, so that's very important. Don't miss that. That's number 4. Master your CV. CV master is very important. Okay. So what I have done, I understand what you require to become a consultant. So you will be going with the SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement mastery instructor-led sessions. With that, I do give a lot of things complimentary. So I have created a course which is named SAP Job and Mastery. Okay, I would be giving you complimentary. It's a separate 60-70 hours of course which you need to go through self-paced mode. Our instructor-led live sessions will happen for 40 hours. Every batch goes more than 40, but our commitment is for 40 hours. And this additional 60-70 hours of training we are giving complimentary to you. That's called SAP Job and Mastery. Nowhere in the world you will get that course. I can guarantee that. And this is the course which is making all of my students to go into the jobs and work there successfully. So in this will be starting that how you need to prepare the CV. People come to me, I do a lot of one-to-one career counseling. He boss, I got the training, interview calls in here. I'm not getting interview calls. When I see their CV, I say, boss, this CV cannot get any interview call. So preparation of good CV is very important. Whatever the knowledge you get it, getting a job and taking a knowledge are two different things. Two different ball games. You need to play it separately. So when you will start the SAP Job and Master, it will start with the CV preparation. Then we'll go into the implementation project phase by phase. In each phase, as a consultant, in a support, or into the business blueprint, or into the functional specification, how you need to create those documents, how you will be acting as a consultant in a project. That full detail has been given in 70 hours of training. Okay, it's a very valuable course I'm giving as a complimentary, because I know that wherever you will get the training, without this you will not get the job, or even if you get the job you will struggle working in a job. Support and implementation project exposure is very much required. That also we have given through the SAP Job and Mastery. You need to know some advanced and technical things, because when you will go into the interviews, apart from sourcing and procurement, they will ask, have you prepared the FS? Do you know how to create the FS? Do you know what is BAPIs? Do you know what is BADI? How to use them? Do you know the IDOCs? These kind of questions also would be asked to you, and I know that you will face that challenge. So in the job and mastery, I have already provided some additional things: functional specifications, technical specification, BAPIs, BADIs, which is beyond sourcing and procurement, right? These questions are asked. So that also I have covered in job and mastery course, which is complementary with this course. You need not to pay extra. So once you do that, I always tell people to add one advanced module. Okay. So the idea is that you learn one module and you learn two modules. With the learning of two modules, you will get job like anything. Okay. Especially the people who are of the higher experience, who has 10 plus years of experience and they are changing the job, I suggest them go with the two modules. Okay. After mastery you can go for excellence, and after excellence you can go for ariba or ewm. With that combination, no one can stop you to become SAP consultant. Then have a little bit overview of other modules also: pp, sd, how I will get the overview. For that I have created another motivation class, that's the step up circle. Every Monday morning we do an additional session which would be kind of a generic thing. We'll be covering it. Okay, PP overview, MM overview, TM, EWM, multiple modules overviews we have covered into the Monday morning sessions. That happens step up circle. I will give you step up circle also complimentary to you. Get SAP Global certification is the last one. Okay, but it can be the little bit priority whoever are the freshers. For fresher, it will come before, but generally, I suggest people first add two modules. Okay, first add two modules, then go for certification. Because in your CV, one module plus certification will not have that weightage, but two modules in your CV will have more weightage to get a job. Okay, so that you would be getting it. This is the 10 keys for the success which you need to do. If you do it, no one can stop you. Now, vehicle to success. What is a vehicle to success? We have everything. We have instructor-led live session, which would be happening. I will let you know the schedule. Will be starting from the Sunday. First three session will happen on Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. After that, we'll be having one session from Wednesday morning, 6:30 a.m. and one session on Saturday, uh, 5 p.m. IST. That would be happening. And Monday would be additional session would be there. Okay, so this is a community and we give a lot of additional session in the community for a year for you to make sure you come into the discipline and you learn from us. Hands-on, the sessions which will be starting in the Saturday 5 p.m. IST sessions, we focus more on hands-on. We ask you to, boss, bring your laptop. You're facing any challenge, share your screen, show it to us so that we can help you to resolve the issues. So hands-on issues would be resolved into Saturday sessions. Job and mastery complimentary. Offline support would be given to you through the Telegram. You will be part of a Telegram community where whenever you have an issue, you would be able to post there. But there would be a response time up to 48 hours because I am also working into the projects. Kunal would be helping me for offline support. He is also working in a project. So respect everybody's time. But we have a lot of members before I myself, Kunal responds. The other community members can respond you. A lot of members who are already working now as a consultant, you will find it there after training. They also support for the placements also. So we are putting a community together so that you can grow together, and even after the project also, if you are facing issues, that community would be able to help you out. Dynamic content videos, you enroll today, you will get assigned in 24 hours. All the video content would be assigned to you. So I prefer the best students are the one who is getting the results very fast. You have a video content, you go through the video content, and then you jump into the live session. If you know some subject, little bit around the subject, believe me, your focus would be very high. Your focus would be very, very high if you know something about it. If it is something completely new, you are completely blank, you join 5 minutes late in the session, you will not get anything. You will join 10 minutes late, then you say, yaar, kuch samajh mein nahi aa raha hai, kya ho raha hai? Right? But if you have gone through the video first, which is already there with you, your progress would be very fast. 1 year access to all videos plus instructor-led sessions. So mastery sessions and all the videos, you will be getting 1 year access. This 1 year boundary is very important. Believe me, I am doing experiment for 7 years now. I can give 2 years, 3 years, but that does not help at all. Lifetime access is the worst thing. Anything you are getting a lifetime access from Udemy or anything, that is the worst thing is happening with you. Anything which does not have a time limit or boundary, you don't complete it. Believe me or not, 90% people are from the same DNA. Until unless exam pressure does not come, you don't react, right? So there should be a limit, there should be a timeline to it. We are the IT, we works into the projects, into the deadlines. So this 1 year is a deadline to you. 6 to 7 months, easily you can crack it everything if you want. With the project, working in a project, working in very intensive work, you can complete in 6 to 7 months. If you don't have anything, you are free. 2 to 3 months you can do it. Cross train yourself with Monday live sessions, 7 a.m. IST. Other modules training also would be given to you, the basic overviews. That's it from today's session from my side. If you have any question about this training, feel free to ask. Any doubt, any question you have, you can ask. I'm going through the chat. I am a GET. Shubham is asking, I'm a GET in ThinkScript in project management. How this course will help me. So even if you are GET, you know that a lot of people are getting now jobs with SAP. As I told you, 70% of Fortune 500 companies, they have SAP. Even these trainings can also help you to get a jobs in operations. A lot of people would be preferring in their buying operation, if SAP is already there, they prefer in the job description would be there. It is preferred that if you already know SAP. So not even the consultant jobs, it can also help you to get the operations jobs, to work into the operations. If you are GET, I would recommend you to 1 to 2 years. You continue with your operations work which you are doing it. Learn this sourcing and procurement, and then after having 2 years of experience and with this training, you would be directly able to start your consulting career.
Hi, Pravinder sir. There are a couple of participants who want to ask the queries directly, I guess. So I'm
Yeah,
going to
just
unmute
just
them.
hold on. I will complete first the
Okay.
quickly from the chat, and then we'll ask one by one to unmute.
All right. Thank you.
How long does it takes to finalize this course? I have already answered. I hope you get the answer. I have one question. 14 years of experience in sales. Is it okay have 50 percentage knowledge on SAP SD? If you have 14 years of experience in sales, 50 percentage knowledge in SAP SD, I'm not here, that I don't believe on ki bhaiya, I'm doing some course and just to make my sale happen, I misguide you. I don't believe in that. Karma comes back, right? So if you have 14 years of experience in sales, you know this SAP SD, I would say, why don't you go with SAP SD as a module? You do SD, you do TM. Okay, you can also go with that way rather than using sourcing and procurement. I also have a training available for SD also. Okay, just get in touch with the coordinator, and then maybe SD would be a better module for you rather than MM. I have examples. I have make 50 plus years age students also become a SAP consultant. If there is a will, there is a way. Shubham is asking, do you provide some interviews? Believe me, Shubham, we also forward your CVs to the multiple companies which we are associated with. But if you follow the path, you need not to request anyone to get your interview schedules. If you follow the path which we give, if you complete the job and mastery, if you prepare your CVs, as soon as you put it on the LinkedIn, Naukri.com, there will be shower of interview calls. If you're not getting interview calls, then then you request to my team. They get a call scheduled with me. I check it that what is wrong, why you're not getting interview calls. Okay, we don't provide any kind of backdoor entries. We don't believe in that. We believe in that to make you capable so that you can get selected and you would be able to, because backdoor entry, if I get it pushed, then you need to also work there as a consultant, right? My job is not to train you. My job is not to make you to get the interview calls. My job is not to get you selected and work in a companies. My job is that you are working in a company and then your manager or superior come to you and ask, boss, how do you know that things from where you get trained? And you say that I am a product from Parminder. That's my job, to make sure that you are working successfully as a consultant in a project. If you can do that, then my my duty is well done. Okay, I have answered all the questions. Someone is asking, can I try for fresher for fake experience? No need to go as a fresher. You have a 40 plus age. No need to go as a fresher. No need to go as a fake experience. When you go to the job and mastery, I have explained that how you can show your experience. We call it as a manipulated experience. Never show a fake experience, but show a manipulated experience. How you will be showing a manipulated experience, that has been explained in job and mastery course. Okay, now we can go one by one. The people who wants to ask, they can unmute and ask their question.
Hello everyone. Guys, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the queries whoever wants to.
Yeah, Bala Gopal, you go first. You have raised your hand. You go first. Have you given the unmute access to people?
Uh, just a second. I think I have given already, but I'll just mute everyone and unmute everyone.
Yeah, Bala Gopal, if you are able to hear us, you can try to unmute yourself. Anyone else who has raised a hand, are you able to unmute yourself? Can you let us know on chat if you're able to unmute yourself?
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. You mentioned the business process. Uh, I took SAP FICO course. I was able to configure, but the teacher didn't mention anything like business process. I know the process well, but when a question was asked to me, what is the business process? I was far wanting. I didn't know what to say. So what I'm trying to say is that there are certain things that need to be emphasized. in course of your teaching, make them emphasize to us so that we will know when we attend an interview, we will know what to say. So
That's
it is.
why I understand that. That's why on the top 10 keys, I mentioned second point is have a good hold on the business process. So I will let you know each where the special processes and the normal procure to pay processes I will explain in depth, and you would be able to explain in interviews the different processes in sourcing and procurement, whether it's a direct buying, indirect buying, whether it's subcontracting, stock transfers, pipeline procurements, consignments. You would be able to explain the business processes for them for sure, because all of our sessions would start from the business process first. That what is business, what requires in the business, and then we goes how to do in SAP and how to do the configurations if required.
Thank you.
Sure.
I think guys you can unmute yourself from your end. Yeah, you just need to, you know, click on the mic icon over there. You can unmute yourself.
Can you unmute from your side?
Another question. So right now I've registered for SAP Ariba, which is coming on very soon. So after taking the SAP Ariba, do I have to come for SAP S/HANA 4?
Hmm. So you have taken the SAP Ariba, and then you can also do the S/4HANA sourcing and procurement. With that, your full vertical would be covered from SAP side. So Ariba plus SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement would be a very strong profile. That's what we recommend.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? I don't see. I see Balagopal's hand is raised, but if you're not able to unmute yourself, you can quickly type over the chat. I have just last 5 minutes before we end this session, so don't wait for unmute if you are not able to do, although the access has been given. You can put it on the chat. I don't see any further questions. I think we can end this session.
Sure, Parminder sir. I think all are good. Thank
I
you so
have I
much.
have one last question, Sana. Can I know how many years of experience? Brief about yourself, if you don't mind. Yeah, Mela, maybe you have joined late. I started with having a brief about myself. I explained what is my experience. I will quickly explain you again. I have 18 plus years of experience, and I have a 4 years of experience in operations. I started my career as a consulting in PP, production planning, and then I switched to the multiple modules. Logistics is my strongest area. PPMM, SD, those are the modules which I am strongest area. I'm working as a freelancer. From last 4 years, 50 to 60% time I give it to projects where I do a freelancing project as a solution architect in the logistics in SAP projects, and rest of the time I give it to my trainings. I'm doing continuously training from last 7 years, and I have upskilled more than 2,000 people on SAP. Okay, Sana, then I'm dropping. I think I have answered all of the questions. Thank you everyone for joining
Yeah,
today
thank
for
you so
this
much,
course.
Parminder sir.
Thank you,
Thank
Sana,
you
for
very much.
organizing it. See you
Thank you.
all on the coming Sunday session. Thank you very much. Bye bye for now.
Thank you so much.